Today is day 14, and Maggie just got back from her trip. Unfortunately, it seems like she's sick, so I guess I gave whatever I had to her. But it's nice that we're both home. It's raining outside, it's very cozy. We have the heater on, and yeah, both of us have the day off today. It's a Monday, but Maggie has the day off from work, so looking forward to just doing some chilling and hanging out. And project wise, I don't know what I'm gonna get up to today. Maybe some video synth stuff, maybe some music stuff. I do have a small sewing project I'm gonna do first though. This is one of Maggie's favorite jackets. Very cute, little pea coat kind of thing. Um, However, some of the side seams are starting to split. There's a hole right here and another one right here. And on the other side, there's another hole that you can see. But fortunately, this jacket is not lined, so it's the stitching itself that's breaking, not the fabric. So this should be a very easy repair. Basically, all I have to do is just sort of line this up under the sewing machine and just do a new line of stitching. I'm probably going to overlap the old stitches a little bit just for strength, but yeah, this should only take a few minutes, and it's always easier to save something, I think, at the beginning when it starts to break or tear or need mending. So yeah, let's nip it in the bud. They say a stitch in time saves nine, so hopefully we're in time. Alright. No holes here. And no holes here. Can't even tell. Boom. Mended. That's what we like to see. Today is day 15. And it's Tuesday, although it's actually after midnight, so technically it's Wednesday. But I've been doing a bunch of Art Month stuff today, and I feel like it's been a while since I had a good little, like, nighttime creative time. But tonight, I was feeling a little sleepy at first, but then, I don't know, I kind of got into the groove on some stuff. I like went back through some of my old sets. And like picked out some tracks I might want to like revisit, update, kind of integrate into my new set. I watched some YouTube videos about like techno production and different techniques and stuff, and that was really interesting. I did a bunch of work on my video synth tonight, and I think I also made a pretty cool little track this morning. So I want to show you all this stuff. Yesterday, I did that little sewing project, but also just did a lot of like house stuff. I got groceries and I made soup, and that was nice. Did some hanging out with Maggie while she's sick. And yeah, today, I feel like today was a really good example of just kind of like following my whims and instincts, in that I didn't really feel like I was like hustling on any kind of schedule. I was just doing things as they felt interesting to me on whatever schedule I wanted, and just doing like a little bit here and there. Went on some errands, did some cooking, etc. But I feel like I did a lot of stuff today. So I think this was a really interesting example of like, it's not like I had, a deep focus work session that was 8 hours long or whatever. I had my projects ready to go, ready to work on, and as inspiration struck, I would just do like 30 minutes here, an hour there, spread throughout the day, and I feel like it was a pretty productive day. So, kind of interesting. Anyway. think that one is very fun, and I might even try to add like a B section or something, or like some other kind of. I'm only using a few layers in that. So I think I might try to have like, some other instrumentation I can bring and some more parts to that. But it feels like already it's like a pretty juicy like 4 or 5 minutes in there. So I feel good about that one. Okay, video synth, then I'm going to bed. Alright, so I have the interesting part of the video synth over here. I'm trying to figure out how to explain what I've been working on. A bunch of stuff just related to like the sequencer and like animations and motion and stuff like that. So the patterns at this point are still very basic, but like I've been working on like the sequencing stuff. So this one, okay, I'll use my right hand. So this one, this layer, remember these are 16 layers and 8 steps. This layer turns on and off this like oscillating background. But that's not on any of these other layers. These other layers have nothing. So when you toggle away, these other steps have nothing. So when you toggle away from step one has the animating layer, but as soon as I leave, we're not seeing anything. So if I go to step 2 and I turn on these squares, there's no background, so they kind of like overdraw each other. But if I turn the background on for this one too, then it like repaints every time, and then I can see the squares and the oscillating background. So no squares on top, squares on top. So then maybe on step 3, I want the background and I want these other squares. On step 4, I want the background and I want these balls. And then on step 5, just the balls. Step 6, just these squares. Step 7, just these triangles. And step 8, just these triangles also. Okay, so now when I play it, we have this like animation. And so like the background thing is kind of interesting because it like it is making a background color, but on screens with these like animating balls, it's like you get like, it's kind of this like trails effect almost. I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I might even, there's like a chance that I might like move. Like I will just assume that you kind of always want a background, but then there's like an effect that will take the background away or something, rather than you having to like add the background into every step if you want like a clean animation. I don't know. And again, this would be, a lot better with some feedback, but if we stop the sequencer, I think, so yeah, just steps 7 and 8, I think, have the triangles, is that right? Let's add the triangles here too. And let's get rid of these and add the triangles. Get rid of this, add the triangles. Get rid of this, add the triangles. Get rid of this, add the triangles, and the background. So triangles and background on all of them. Okay. So now if we play it, one other thing I've been working on is like, so the squares is something that it kind of like animates continuously while you're on that step, because each step is like playing for, a second or something, or half a second. I think in this case it's like 460 milliseconds or something, because I was trying to like match the tempo of a song. So you have 460 milliseconds per step, so you have many frames of that step before you switch to the next step. So if we go to step 1 and we add these squares back, the squares like move over the course of step 1 playing, but the triangles don't. So that's like one other system that I've been setting up, is like for each layer that you add, there's like a part of, like, you can write code that only runs once as soon as the step starts, and you can write code that runs continuously. So for the triangles, you might notice like there's some subtlety going on here, but so the background color is changing, like the screen is being repainted every time, but the triangles are always on top of the background. So the triangles are being drawn every frame, but the positions of the triangles are randomized once at the beginning of when the step starts to be displayed. So I think like the contrast is kind of interesting between like you have like some static elements and some moving elements, and you have, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of infrastructure in the sequencer done now. And even with these like very basic like layer tools, I haven't really put much effort into them yet. Like there's some interesting stuff happening just like with the sequencing of it. And so that feels very gratifying. And yeah, so I want to put more effort into making interesting layers, and I think that'll feel really good. The other thing that I think would help a lot is getting the encoders going. So right now we can like turn layers on and off and stuff like that. But we can't adjust the parameters of the layers yet. And there's like animation happening, but I want to be able to control like how many triangles are displayed or whatever. So I do want to get some of the encoders going. And that'll involve a little soldering and a little wiring. But yeah, I think that feels like a good next step. Because otherwise, if I want to tweak like how quickly this background is oscillating or whatever, I have to edit the code and reload it, and then I have to program in my whole sequence again because this doesn't have any like persistent memory. So yeah, having some adjustments I think would feel really good. So yeah, day 15. Kind of an interesting, very different structure from previous art month days where like I've been like, all right, 9 to 5, it's time to get to work. This day I was kind of just doing stuff ad hoc, but I feel like I did a lot of things and I did some work I'm really proud of, and I'm feeling good. And yeah, overall feeling relaxed, inspired, motivated. Now I'm going to go to bed.